Hi guys, Clary Berry here, and I want to take a minute to talk with you guys about diabetes today. And not just diabetes, but I want to talk with you about fats, sugar, and the blood system and how it all works together. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are like nurses and you've been educated, and so you might know, some of the basics, but I'm getting all this information in here in this video from the book 80-10-10 by Dr. Doug Graham. Highly recommended. This is the diet that I'm on and that I will be on for a really long time to come. Pretty sure. So yeah, basically you guys probably already know how this works. Sugars, simple sugars, when you eat simple sugars like bananas and other fruits, they move through your bloodstream very, very quickly. Actually, they move through, some, and not even just the intestinal wall, some move through your tongue immediately. But they go through the walls and in and out of the bloodstream in minutes very easily. So this is good. This is what you want. This is great because this is what your body cells, all of your body cells in your entire body, this is what they run on. They run on glucose. Simple sugars, this is what they need. And anytime you eat anything, whether it's fat, protein, or complex carbohydrates, they're coming into your body and they have to get processed into glucose before your cells can use them. So for every single cell in your body is having to work those proteins, work those fats, and work those starchy, complex carbohydrates in order to convert them. And I don't know if that sounds like a super easy process to you, but anytime you're making your body do something extra, it's not going to be good. It's energy that your body could have been using to do something else. It's just like the simple concept of whenever you eat a big meal of meat, that is going to sit in your stomach for 6 hours or so. Could be more. When you eat a big salad or a bunch of fruit, it just goes right through your stomach within 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Okay, so your body has to do a lot less work digesting this. So same sort of concept. Let's talk about what insulin does and its job in your body. Basically, if you don't know, it's taking those sugar molecules and it's taking them over to the little receptor sites, the insulin receptor sites. Has to take them through the blood vessel wall, through the membranes, through a bunch of the fluid, and then it finally takes it to the cell, and it actually, gets it inside of the cell. It's like a little bodyguard or an escort, If the insulin does not take that sugar, on that little trip and take it to the cell, then A, your cells are going to be really hungry for food, and B, your blood sugar is going to stay in your blood system, in your bloodstream. The sugar is going to stay in your bloodstream. So what happens when like I said, when you have normal sugars, everything goes through, the insulin's like, here, come on, let's go, takes it to the cell's full, everybody's happy. Everything functions the way it should function, including your brain. What happens when you get too much fat? When you take in too much fat, which probably isn't as much as you had ever been told was too much fat. Talk about that later. When you eat too much fat, there's a thin coating of fat that coats the blood vessel walls. It coats the receptor sites. It coats the sugar itself. It coats the insulin itself. And let me tell you, it does not just coat it and then goes away easily. When you eat a lot of fat in your body, in your diet, that fat can stay easily for 24 hours, especially if you have a lot. It could be even more than that. So how much fat do you eat in 24 hours? If you're on a high-fat diet, your body is never clearing itself. Never, ever clearing itself of those blood sugars. So what happens... Oh, I guess I should back up a little bit. It coats all of those. So, yeah, it can't take the sugar molecule to the receptor site very well. The receptor site doesn't connect with the insulin, and the sugar doesn't know what's going on. The blood vessel walls are coated. It's harder to get through. It's harder to get through the membranes and the fluids. And the cell itself is not, it's coated, so it's not getting in. Some may get through. I'm sure some blood sugars do. They just have to work so much harder. That is not efficient for your system. That's causing extra, stress and can lead to like an overexhaustion of your system. Okay. Also, like I said, your cell is sitting there, it's not getting what it needs. So that's not good either. And then the other aspect is if your body's having to do all this effort just to get some of those blood sugars to the cell, a lot of that sugar is going to stay in the blood. That is when you end up with diabetes. Your body is just doing all it can, but it's not getting, the insulin is not getting the sugars to the right spot. That's what it is. And that's why, because it's coated in fat. Okay? So, and like I said, it can last. It can last for a really long time. When you eat a low-fat diet, your body's able to deal with stuff efficiently. And if you don't believe, like I said, all of the sources for his knowledge is in there. He lists his sources, but I also just want to let you know a couple of other little tidbits that he put into a little side note. 3 of them here, and these blow my mind. And this is the part that blows my mind about why don't more people know this. Diabetes Care, a book about diabetes, okay, tells us a quarter pound of beef versus a quarter pound of straight sugar, they affect diabetics the same. They raise the insulin the same. Okay? If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what to tell you. But, most people would say off the street, if you just took people off the street, which would be worse for a diabetic? Most people just think sugar, because that's what we've been conditioned, that's what we've been trained to think. Diabetes is a sugar imbalance. And I want you to think about that, though. A quarter pound of beef versus a quarter pound of sugar. When people are eating, their meals, how often do they have a quarter pound of beef? I mean, a quarter pound of beef is really not that much. How often do you have a quarter pound of sugar? I mean, even if you had a whole ice cream cone, soda, and then some cookies, you probably still wouldn't be at a quarter pound of sugar. So, the next stat says that cheese and beef actually increase the levels more than pasta. And it goes on to say that a single burger, this is the third one, a single burger or 3 slices of cheddar raises the insulin in diabetics more than 2 cups of pasta. Okay? So, again, how many people eat a single burger? A single burger. If you get a single burger, you're going to have maybe 2. You're going to have maybe a double burger or like a quarter pound. You're not going to eat a single burger. Kindergartners eat single burgers. You know what I mean? And then not only that, you're going to put those slices of cheddar on top of your burgers too, aren't you? Yes, you are. So, who sits down and eats 2 cups of pasta? I do. But most people are scared to eat that much pasta these days. So, single burger or 3 slices of cheddar raises your insulin more than 2 cups of pasta. So, and those were from medical journals. Those last 2, kind of 2 in the same. Those are from American Journal, Clinical Journal. Anyway, like I said, you can find them in the book. But they are here. And to me, I have to share this. I have to get out and share, because I know not only people who already have diabetes, who are already obese, they can learn from this. People who are close, people who are elderly. Yes, I want them to learn from this. But I also want, young and healthy people to learn from this, because it's only going to take another, however long, 5, 10, 15, 20 years of us abusing our bodies before we are those people. This is a time in my life where I'm going to see people, really change a lot. Age is going to catch up with us. And is it age or is it the beef and the cheese? I mean, I really want to help people. I really feel that this is, something that I've become impassioned to do so that I can help people. And I'm just thankful that I found something, that works for myself already, even though I've only been doing it a couple of months. It's amazed me with the results. And it's not only fat, diabetes, it has to do with, mental things too, because when you're eating these high fat diets and you're not eating enough carbs, if you're on a low carb diet on top of the high fat, those are different issues, and your cells are definitely not getting enough glucose then. And that really affects our mood a lot. It really affects our brains and our whole lives more than we even think. I think if more people knew that they needed to be carved up, and if more people stayed carved up, we'd have less murders, we've had less people on drugs, all of it, the whole 9 yards. We've had less child abuse. Like, I look around and I look at the evils in this world, and it's like I almost want to just blame them all on being undercarbed, and that's silly to think, but it's almost not. It's almost really actually realistic, just by, like I said, how many people are doing the right thing. How many people, when you're healthy and you like, oh, I'm eating my meat, I'm taking my cod liver oil, my coconut oil, and I'm healthy, and like, I can't, it blows my mind. So please try this, see how you feel. If nothing else, share this, like, question, comment as usual. Take care, eat your fruit, and keep in touch. Thanks, guys.